Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here and clicking on this video. I also want to say a big thank you to those who checked out my last video of my room tour of the music/work office. Getting a lot of great comments, and I want to say thank you very much for checking out that video. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about an album that I really like by Dream Theater. They have so many great albums. But one of my favorite progressive power metal rock band that here lately that I've been listening to a lot of their music. Yesterday I spent some time listening to the music of Opeth and trying to find my gateway album into their music. So let me just start off by showing my small collection of Dream Theater. I have one of those original album series, where you get the 5 albums. I love these things. No, I understand. They don't come with all the liner notes, the little booklets, the photos. But the way I look at it, not that I'm saying it's the right way. There is no right or wrong way about collecting your music in any format you love to buy. But I can go look up all that info on the internet if I really want to know more details. But so that little series has 5 albums. Here's the one I'll be talking about today in this video. It was released July 7th, 1992. This is Images and Words. Also has the album Awake, another great one. Fallen into Infinity. It's a cheap little budget buy to get these 5 albums. And Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory, another great one. And an album, Train of Thought. I love the artwork of this, black and white and the eyeball. And then I have one more CD by them, Distance Over Time. Kind of reminds me right there of the Hamlet, To Be or Not to Be. That's always been the question, right? But there's my little small collection of Dream Theater. I do plan to add more of their music to my collection. They have one of the all-time best guitar players who's made his mark in progressive rock music, metal. However you want to categorize this band, I don't think you can go wrong. And that is the gentleman by the name of John Petrucci. Hopefully I said that right. So like I mentioned, this album came out in 1992, 32 years ago. Wow. Just a little bit of an intro back history of the band real quick here. The band formed in 1985 in Boston. Progressive power metal band. That's what I think of when I listen to their music. Members on this album here are guitarists. As I mentioned, I'm going to give it another shot of saying his name. If I don't say these names correctly, sorry about that. I know folks out there like to be those little keyboard warriors, and the only thing they want to hear is what you said wrong. Okay, have fun. John Petrucci on guitar, James LeBrier vocals. He used to be in a glam rock band. He does some great vocals on this album. Kevin Moore on keyboards, love it. On drums, Mike Portnoy, something like that. Portnoy. Drums, he sings the vocals on my favorite song at the beginning of the album, and we'll talk about that. When I mentioned his name to my daughter, she was like, oh, I know him. He played on an album of Angel Sevenfold, or was in there for a small period of time. But she knows him and knows some other things he was in. And I forgot the other things too. There was some other band. This guy is a great bass player. John Myung, man, phenomenal bass player. I love it. I love what he does on this album. So in this album, here's what I got out of my experience and what I loved about it. The blistering lead guitar work was just very good. The album is very balanced. with the lyrics, the music, the theme, the way it sounds, the way it's mixed. It's great, great stuff. I love the powerful vocal deliveries. I love that the music a lot of time is in your face, straight up in your face, and it has that symphonic prog rock that I like about it. Some classical piano, and I just love classical music. And a song that has a nice little touch of jazz, smooth jazz. In the jazz corners, I personally love jazz, all types of jazz music, but I know the elites don't consider smooth jazz jazz. I don't know. It says smooth jazz. There's the word jazz. I never got it. But anyway, not trying to stir the pot, or am I? I love the complex of it. There's some really complex recording techniques, and there's some really complex rhythms. Awesome, awesome. Now the themes of the album, and I'm going to go with how much I hear of the emotion in the music. Yeah, there's some emotion in the music. The theme that I got out of this album, or themes, excuse me, is the human heart. The, what do you call it? The complex, the optimism, and being hopeful, confident, positive. You know, those are just things that a human heart experience. You know, we go through things, we experience things. You know, we have a certain look about the future. Some say, it's not good. Some look hopeful. Some are glad about having a new day. That's the way I look at it, day by day, you know. And one other thing, too, that for the human heart, I really believe that music help us through everything, through good and bad times. You got to have some bad times to appreciate the good times. And one thing that I want to say here, and this is where I'm going to say this, it almost makes me want to turn the comments off on the video, on this video, but I'm not going to. But I will take off the comment if I don't like it. I will delete it. And I don't want to do that. But, you know, none of us want comments on our videos. Not too long ago, and I won't stay on this too long, somebody left me some couple of political comments towards me. And folks, be honest, you don't know me. And I don't know you. We just know each other in this music community. Let's put it that way. But one thing that I've had to learn about being confident, and that's that I'm confident about if I'm going to have to deal with being bullied and BS. I just don't tolerate it. And this kind of music helps. I know that might kind of sound strange, but no, it fits. It helps me that I'm confident, I'm hopeful, and that's what I love about this album. This album has that in the music. It's dealing, again, like I said, with the things that we experience in our human hearts, man. We all want love. We want a hug. I mean, come on, let's be for real. Others, I don't know. Maybe they're like what they say, that term negative, being so negative. Well, I can be sometimes, but it changes. And music does that. Or that little sweet kiss from Mrs. ProgHat blows all that away. But anyway, those are the themes that I got. And albums like this, it's perfect when it can touch upon those things that we know about, we experience in everyday life. This is good music for that. And it's also energetic, and it helps to rise up above it and to move forward. My impressions of this album, well, I like that it's very powerful. It's got that metal edge, and it's proggy. And I love the great lead guitar work on this album and the guitar playing. But I love also how the band is close knit. They really put their heart and soul into these tracks, put out some really, really good music. And that's saying a lot, The artwork, I love the artwork. It's got that little floating, you could see it on the cover, that fire heart, that little with the crown of thorns. It's kind of got like maybe some religious type tones to that. My daughter looked at the cover and said that's like the heart of Christ. And she also said that, it's a surreal album cover. And she also likes the music of Dream Theater. So very cool. Now I'm going to get to the part where I'm going to talk about where the tracks that stand out for me on this album. But I encourage you to go check it out. Before I begin with that, I was thinking also, I don't remember how I got into Dream Theater. And I couldn't think of any blind buy or if I heard anything. I know people talk about them. I know they'll pop up, in those, when we look and research some of our favorite prog bands, and they said, if you like this band, check out Dream Theater, check out Opeth, check out, what's this other band? Haken? I think that's the name of it. Haken, another band I like very much. So I couldn't remember, but I know there was something that lured me in and I was hooked. Now, here are the tracks that really stand out for me on this album. The opener, great opener, Pull Me Under, love it. I love the vocal. It has a very interesting recording technique. Go check it out. Great guitar composition, melodic, I love that. Another Day, which is the second song. And what's interesting, these first two songs were released as singles. They did really well for the band. I like that it has, Another Day has that ballad side, and it has a really soft touch of that smooth jazz horn that it's beautiful towards the end of the song. It puts me in a peaceful mood when I hear horns played like that. Another track, Under a Glass Moon. Love the keyboards. I was listening to that keyboard again, and it has a vibe of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Great track. Oh, another solid one. Metamorphosis. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Part 1. When I was listening to that track, I love that. Now, Part 2 picks up Sings from a Memory, which I believe might be the band's next album, but don't quote me on that. But it also had that vibe of Rush, something from their album Hemispheres. And I can see that the band is inspired by some Rush. Just my thoughts. I don't know these guys. I'm just talking about it. They're great musicians, but I can see that Dream Theater has inspired these other upcoming bands, and probably even more upcoming musicians we'll see in the future if I'm around that long. Okay. And so Metamorphosis Part 1, I love it. It's rock solid for me. And one more other track, the closer, Learning to Live, symphonic. I just love that. That's one of the songs that touches the emotions of a human heart. One of the themes of the album and the lyrics. Really, really good track. Close of the album, and I think it's a great closer. This is another album. Starts off well, ends well. I love it. Now, my overall rating of this album, 10 being the highest. I give this album 10 out of 10. Check it out, folks. And another note, in 2018, I was reading about Loudwire. You can go look at this list. It was on their list for best metal albums in 2018. So, folks, my thoughts, my reviews, I got a little personal. Hopefully I didn't say anything offensive, but I'm just like that. I'm going to be straightforward, and sometimes I am, and sometimes that may explain why I don't have too many friends. But anyway, folks, this is one of my favorite records, Images and Words. Yeah, it's one of those rock albums that I feel like should be put in one of those space capsules or whatever, and send it out to the galaxy, and let who all has ears, or however they can hear the music of Dream Theater and this masterpiece of an album. Please, folks, if you like what I do on this channel, think about becoming a subscriber. It's free, or hitting the like button, or leaving me a nice comment. And I appreciate you all, and I'll see you soon on my next video.